Good evening, SBC. Good evening, SBCC. Good evening to everyone. All points north, south, east, west, perpendicular, parallel, uh, anything. Thank y'all for being here, joining us for the May 3rd, 2022 edition of SBC Tuesday Talk. And I am your host and van driver and head chef, Mr. Mike Walker. Mr. Mike Walker, you know what? This show going to end for a start. Glad to have each and every one of y'all with us tonight. And we got a nice show. Glad that you joined us. And we're just going to go with the start with the salutations, if we will. Okay. See who's here with us today. Shamika Montgomery, glad to have you here. Hey, Jenna Morgan, always good to have you here. Brother Michael McKeever from the DMV, glad to have you here. Sister Tamika Ham, good to see you here. Evangelist Angela Madison, good evening to you. Sister Teresa Jones, good to have you here. Charlita Evans, good to have you here. You've been kind of sneaking around here. We're going to put you on this panel one day. So glad to have you here. Kitty McCat, always glad to see you here. Why did you change your name though? We'll talk about that later. Let me see who else. Andrea Jenkins, good to have you here. Should have invited you here. That's good though. Yeah, it's still not too late. Let me know. Okay.
Ain't that but a late.
Hello, exactly. Want me to send it to her?
Yeah, if she wants to now. Okay, don't worry about being late. Okay, Nisha, good to have you here. Always glad to have you here. Leslie Ruth, okay, she's here joining us tonight. Always good to have you here. We have a panelist named Leslie Ruth. Coincidence. It's a small world, ain't it? Margaret, good to have you here. There's a bunch of y'all here. That's good. Karen Minto, always good to have you here. Chef with no kitchen. I don't know who is this.
Thank you.
Valerie Cavett, good to have
you. The back seat of the car.
You know what?
Not even the truck. This is the back seat of the car.
You got the grill hooked onto the back of the car.
No, he cooking on the radiator.
Rita Obi Sellers, good to have you here. Oh boy. Sarah Nichols, good to have you here. Chauncey Whaley, glad to have you here, my brother. And Cassandra Cunningham, good to have you here. Wow, well, we got, as you can tell, it's gonna be one of those nights tonight. So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Okay, yeah, it's three of us tonight, though, unless Andre want to join us, and then she may not want to join this craziness tonight, though. But in any case,
put a link.
No pressure.
We have Leslie from Birmingham Metro. How you doing, Leslie?
I'm great. Good evening, everyone.
We have from South Carolina, Tiffany Murphy. How are you doing this evening?
I'm hanging in there. Howdy, folks.
Okay, okey-dokes. Okay. Leslie, tell her that she don't have to turn her camera on. Let's tell her what I just said. But then she can hear me though. Okay.
I'm gonna say, who are we talking to? Tiffany right here with the camera on.
Excuse me, I can turn it off. Ain't no problem.
Andrea. That's what I was meant to say. It's been one of those days. Okay, let's get started though. And they saying, "Hey, Leslie and Tiffany." Okay. And good evening. Yes, good evening. Nicholas Wright, glad to hear you. If you hear my brother, let's get started, shall we? Okay. Let's get ready with this first one. This is going to be, before we get started, please like, please subscribe, and please share. Okay. With that said, our first topic, life coaches and relationship experts, are they just one big hustle? Okay, dokes. as you know, most of us, well, not most of us, there's these people. Counseling is needed, like grief counseling. That's very important. School counseling, that's very important. Then you having a counsel with your psychologist, a session with your psychiatrist. Yeah, things like that are very important. Mentoring is very important. But somewhere down the line, people have been able to get quick certification to become either life coaches or relationship experts if they get certification at all. If they get it at all. Like like dating coaches. Let me move that darn banner. Dating coaches offer coaching related products. Notice they said products and services to improve their clients' success in dating and relationships through discussing, role playing, behavior modeling, and other forms of direction. And a dating coach trains clients to meet and attract romantic partners. Dating coaches may focus on topics important to the art of dating, interpersonal skills, flirting, psychology, sociology, compatibility, fashion, and recreational activities. That's all I'm going to read right there because the banner is covering it though. And also, we got a lot of visuals.
That last sentence is important, as dating coaches are unlicensed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Their methods are
very widely. That's
it. And they are unlicensed. Their methods. Yeah, that's very important. Thank you, Liz. Yes. Thank you.
These are not mental health professionals.
Say that.
They are not mental health professionals.
Okay. Okay. So know that right there. And we got some more stuff. This is just a sample of what you see on the internet. Relationship coach certificate course online. In this part-time online relationship coach certificate course, you will learn important principles and practical step-by-step techniques for relationship coaching and getting started in a career as a professional relationship coach. Register now, small print, money back guarantee. Okay. Let me get this off here. So, ladies, and again, and to the audience out there, life coaches and relationship experts, are they just one big hustle? To the panel and to the audience. Leslie, start us off.
I'm not going to say it's a hustle, because the reason I say I don't think it's a hustle, hold on, put it like this, because anything can be a hustle. Okay? Anyone with false motives or bad intentions can hustle you into feeling, thinking, doing, or whatever. I do believe there is a space that is available for people to need that type of instruction or coaching, and there's a space for people to be able to provide that service as well. Now, if you the person, that's where the hustle comes in, because if you're not gifted, this is a skill, a talent, a gifting to be able to counsel, to help people, to serve people in this way, and you know it before you even go out and look for this type of training. I'm a grief counselor, and I went through a 4-day, and it was intense, in type of training to do that work. But I didn't just go out and say, "Oh, well, I don't need to find me something to do to make some little money." No, I was in a seminary class, and God said, I want you to focus your ministry on helping those who are grieving and helping women in ministry. So God had already called me that, and then this opportunity came up. So I believe whatever this is, you are going to be called to it, and you will excel at it. But if you out there just trying to find you some way to make a few dollars on the side, it's not going to work for you. And people would immediately know that you are not benefiting them in no form or fashion. because you could be out there just trending. Oh my God, they're the person. Da, da, da. But I just think that everything is beneficial to those who use it for the right motives, for the right reasons, intentions, and stuff. But there's always somebody out there, and that's not where that discernment kick in.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let me read what they had to say. We get to Tiffany. Jenna says, I think some can be a hustle, but some can be helpful. And I agree. I totally agree. And Peggy Dawkins said, absolutely. Tamika says, I agree, it is a skill. I will even go further to say it's a calling. Kitty says, I don't believe anyone can be an expert on relationships. People, their feelings, experiences, beliefs, etc., vary too widely for anyone to claim to be an expert on it. Definitely. Yeah. So go ahead, Tiffany. Oh, yeah, but guess what, though? Guess what, y'all?
What?
You see, if I'm doing this, guess what?
Somebody coming. Yeah. And her camera on. Just let me get right.
Oh, girl.
Yes.
Oh, you gotta whip her hair back and forth real quick. She gotta whip her hair back and forth.
And we have Sister Andrea from the Commonwealth of Virginia. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. She's gonna definitely drop some knowledge on us this night, though. So put your seatbelts on. Okay. Where am I? Y'all starting already. Tamika Ham says, let me ask, some have made it a hustle. Some, absolutely. Yeah. We got a lot of them. Okay. Angela Madison said, indeed, you can have a natural ability, gift or talent, to work with the mental health community, but having academic training and experience is vital. I agree with that 1000%. Tiffany.
So this is an interesting topic to me because I actually know one very successful dating coach personally, and then I know 2 life coaches personally. They actually in my personal circle. I don't think it's a hustle. Just like Leslie said, and a lot of people in the comments have said, it's beneficial to certain people. So like I listen to some of their podcasts, some of their live shows, and sometimes some of the information they drop, I'm like, some of it's kind of common sense, but then, every sense is not common sense is not so common. So, some things I'm kind of like, I kind of thought of that, but then there's somebody that's listening that probably hasn't. I do think that when it comes to the life coaching piece of things, being somebody who kind of went through a place in life that was real funky, I would probably say if I had to choose, I would probably choose the therapist over the life coach. But in essence, I'm like, the question is, do they really do the same thing in a way? Because both of them are helping you kind of dissect your life and figure out how to put it back together differently. So then the question becomes, okay, one of them's kind of halfway licensed and the other one is licensed. So I think it's based on like what types of traumas that you're trying to process. If you're just somebody that's like, I don't know what career I want, I feel like I'm just floating in life and life is just existing and I'm just existing, then maybe, just maybe, that life coach option might be available for you and it may be a lower cost to you than therapy. And you may just need somebody to kind of put you on a thought process of what you want to do. But if you're trying to dissect trauma, that's going to be a therapist because they've gone through the schooling to understand how to unpack that suitcase and help you put things back in the suitcase, folded nice and neatly so that they don't all spill out when you go down the road of life. So I think that's kind of how you have to look at that. The relationship piece, I'm with, I can't remember who said it, but I'm with you that people's experiences, their beliefs, and all of those things are very, very different. Because the way I approach dating may be totally different than somebody else. But the dating coach that I know, a lot of the stuff that she talks about is more so like, okay, have you stopped and did a self-assessment? So she does like self-assessments with her clients to understand what are you really looking for? And, like what is your understanding of relationships? Because we all have a big broad statement that we'll make and say, oh, it's a place where I should feel safe, feel loved, and all these other things. But when you peel all that back, what does that look like? You know, and a lot of people kind of have a skewed view on that. So I think both of them in their right can exist, but I think you just have to be smart about which path you need to go down.
Okay. But let me ask this question, y'all, and we'll go to Andrea, though. What would be the difference, if any, between, say, a life coach that charges and a mentor that does not charge? Would
I
there
wouldn't
be any
see.
difference?
I mean, a mentor, you gotta realize that we're saying these words, and so often these words have defined meaning based on what you're needing. So a mentor is not someone who's your quote friend or bestie. It's someone who you're seeking to advise you in a specific area of your life. You know, if you are a college student and you are trying to understand some path opportunities you need to take or things you need to do as you venture out into your professional life in a particular area, whatever your focus, you know, you're going to look for someone who's already on that path or has achieved some things that you are really wanting to mirror in your life. Then you seek out mentors like that. You know, if you're in ministry and you're just starting out and you see someone who has walked a particular path and you want to follow along and get some guidance and understanding and all of that, that's what you find someone in that area. Life coach, it can be a variety of things across different things. I think a mentor is a defined relationship, a specifically defined relationship, where that life coach is, I just need someone to help me navigate personal, professional relationships. I feel like I'm not doing it right. It's chaotic. I have no order to my life. I need someone to help me get all this stuff in perspective. I think of that as being a life coach.
And I was going to say too, it's a different accountability level with things too, because like with a mentor is going to hold you to a different type of accountability. And like Leslie said, it's going to be specifically focused, but an accountability comes with that. Whereas a life coach is like, let's help you navigate. Whereas a mentor is like, okay, these are the things you tell me you want to do. Let's stick to it. So.
Okay. Well, let me read this one. I saw a good one. Tamika Ham says, it's more than being licensed versus unlicensed. It's standards and regulations that can protect the client and the therapist. Seeing a coach does not necessarily provide that protection.
That's
Yes, they can.
That's really good.
Yes, they can present the same skills, but keep in mind, standards are not the same.
Your life coach can go to court and say everything you said.
Bingo. That's what I was going to say.
Your therapist cannot. Okay, so think about what you got going on and what type of protections, it's like you said, that you need in place.
That's a really good one.
Okay, Andrea.
Yeah, you know what, life coaches, mentors, relationship coaches. Sometimes you have to look at those the same way you would look at, you know, your pastors. Is that the right pastor for me? Is that the right church for me? You know, just because they say they might be gifted in a particular area doesn't mean that gifting is going to help you. You know, and like you know, Tiffany and we're saying, you know, you also have to look at, you know, where you are in life and what is best going to help you get to like that next level. In some cases, it might just be a mentor. You know, think about like young men who have mentors. My son has a mentor. You know, he's just turning 21. It's helping him become, you know, a better man, right? Does he need a therapist? You know, or does he need a relationship coach? I hope not, but at the moment. But if you look at where you are, you can kind of determine what you need. And then if that particular person, because there are several, I mean, how many of us have gone to a particular doctor and that doctor might be good, but not good for us? or not good in that particular situation. And so you also have to look at who is going to match up with what your goals are. And if you have like a good connection, they could be the most wonderful therapist, coach in the world. But if they don't align with what you're seeking and your values and where you want to go, then it's almost pointless.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think about one of y'all, I think Tiffany, you said accountability. You mentioned it. So what about accountability partners? How would that match up with a mentor? Then that's another, how would that match up? Or are they the same person? Well, I answer my own question. Sometimes they can't be. Go ahead. Well,
no, because I was going to say, because like, for instance, with my fitness journey, I have an accountability partner.
Okay.
Granted, we talk about life, but accountability is more so, did you do what you were supposed to do today? Okay, check mark. Mentor is, let me show you how to do what you're supposed to do. Now, did you do what you were supposed to do? And then life coaches, hey, let's navigate it all together.
Yeah.
You may need all three.
Yeah. You can find all three in the same person though, but that's the thing. So they can exist simultaneously. They can exist together.
Let me read this. Kitty says, also consider that oftentimes when people struggle in life or in relationships, it's due to issues or traumas that need to be resolved. A coach is not the right person to help someone navigate those arenas. A therapist is. Great point. And also that protection factor you have to look into. So now, let me ask this though. We talked about life coaches. What about relationship experts? The ones that can give everybody a relationship, but they're not married. What about those? Now, is that good advice, or is that a one big jumbo scam?
That's a hard one, because you could have like a. I'm trying to think what's a good example. Like you ever see like I hate to call his name out like this, but like say a TD Jakes who speaks a lot to women. He's not a woman, but is his advice, pliable? Is he speaking wisdom? And we talk about this a lot. Can a single person give counseling to somebody married? And we've had those kind of conversations, and I'm not sure there's actually an answer to it.
I get you. And on several occasions, I've been referred to as a relationship guru. Now, honestly, folks, if I was a relationship guru, do you think I would be sitting up here by myself right now? So that just proves that I guess there's no such thing as a relationship expert, even if they're married. What can one say? Wait, shout out to Dr. Ruth. Well, okay.
She has some good advice for her time.
Yeah, yes.
For a lot of folks, Dr. Ruth.
But then you also have the Derek Jacksons of the world too, who were the relationship guru.
No, you saw what happened with that.
He was labeled as a guru. Am I wrong?
Right.
I mean,
and who's this latest guy who was giving life advice about women recently? Steven, is that his
name? But y'all have to realize that just because someone is in a particular, I have to think when people in a particular profession, it's like a doctor can heal folks, but that don't mean he's never gonna get sick. So we have to think that just because someone's in a particular profession and they label themselves that way, don't mean that they're not going to have their own relationship issues. A preacher is going to tell people to be righteous and holy and don't sin, but that doesn't mean he's never going to sin. So these relationship experts, I think, is a very touchy subject because so often our issues with relationships are so tied to our own individual mental issues. Our mental issues, our physical issues, all these issues that we have with ourselves that are tied into some things that we may need mentors and life coaches and therapy. I think of these relationship coaches that have a framework, and they go boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
There's no if then do this, or if then this, or if you're this way, do this. I don't think they get that deep.
Mm-hmm.
You may have some that get that deep, and if they do, I bet you they have some these other licensed training and professional background. Because I think they're going to come in and say, oh, I'm going to help you gain confidence. I'm going to help you do this. And they probably come behind it with a mantra that you go, every time you get out to the club, I want you to go in and say, I am the woman, I am the man, and talk yourself up in the mirror and all. And they're going to do all these things that anybody can do. That don't necessarily mean it's going to work. It may work on 5 out of 10. And then the other 5 may say, they may not, whatever. It's still what you think in your head. They're trying to give you some advice or help you to navigate the weaknesses you may have in your in guiding or helping build a relationship. But I don't think it's specific to the individual. I think it's a framework, it's a checklist, and they go about their way.
But I mean, you can think about it this way too. I'm sorry. I was gonna say like even if we look at it where you might say something that somebody's like, oh my gosh, that is so profound, man. Everybody should know, right? So then you launch this whole platform where you're like, okay, great. I made a bold statement one day and people believed me, and now I'm gonna keep making a whole bunch of bold statements. Or I had some crazy experiences in my life that I know can help somebody else. Right. But then when that word kind of becomes law, i.e. Steve Harvey, with the whole think like a man, act like a woman, think like a man. A lot of people took that book as law. But it was his story. It was his understanding of things and his view of things. So I think that, is it good to have varying opinions and views on things? Absolutely. But you also have to be grounded in what it is. Like, you need to have a core set of principles and values that you are too. And then these things are supplements. They're not, they don't become the core, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And even with the Steve Harvey thing, people took that and ran. But then on the flip side, people are like, what right does he have to share any information when he's on marriage, whatever? Men thought that he had no right to be able to share.
Didn't we just say that? Because you one thing don't mean you're not going to do the other.
Nicholas Wright said, when it is a calling and you are empowered, but the power, your expertise come from someplace else. So a single person who takes their calling serious can be beneficial. Charlita says, I think there are boundaries on the levels of advice a single person can give to married couples or an individual who is married. Denisha Manuel, glad to have you here. Healthy communication, fighting fairly, respecting boundaries. These are universal skills that every kind of relationship requires, so the relationship therapist doesn't necessarily need to be married to understand healthy communication. And I also like what she had to say. I'm a school social worker with absolutely no kids of my own. I am 21 years in, and I am more than capable of helping kids navigate adaptive functioning deficits. Okay,
Training.
I hear you.
And that was the same for me. I was gonna say that was the same for me. I was a social worker, and I'm helping families learn how to function together and teaching adults how to be parents to a child. And I'm not a parent, so but I had to tap back into my own experiences, the knowledge and things that were given to me in order to form a sound opinion.
Okay. Who else we have here? Let me see. Kitty says you don't have to have kids to work with them, and that's true. I've worked with kids, and I don't have one, at least that I know of. I don't have any though, so I think it takes a certain gift. You know what? Nicholas Wright says, when there's a calling, it is different. The insight and guidance is coming from the one who calls. So I believe the servant is the key.
I agree, Nicholas. I agree. Now about this question mark that was on the end of your statement. I'm gonna be good. I promise. I'm gonna be good.
Folks,
You need to find out before somebody else come out.
like,
Grab your
subscribe,
retirement.
like, subscribe, and share. Please do this. Do it for me. Please do this, okay?
But do it for him. Please do it for him.
Okay.
And the kids that may be out there. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Michael Walker, you are not the father.
Donate them stars for them kids that might be out there. Right up the stars. The little Mikey.
You put the question mark on it. We just go over what you said.
Right?
Little
But
Mikey
Mike, to help you out for
Knowing is half the battle, said G.I. Joe.
He so did say that.
I heard a question mark.
Donate the stars to the little Mikeys and Michelles out there.
Oh gosh. But Mike, to help you out for a second. So
Please.
I know we said that our single people qualified to give advice to married couples, but I would even flip that question back the other way. Because people who've been married for 20, 30 years, dating 20, 30 years ago is totally different than it is now. So
Yes,
are
it is.
they qualified to give advice to single people? So I think that question goes both ways.
Okay. We're going to get these last ones out the way.
Did Mike just ignore my statement?
He sure did. All
He
right.
just ignore my statement.
Ooh,
You know what,
man.
Wow.
They are going in. So let's go back to what Tiffany was saying. I mean, I know a few counselors and therapists that are single or have been married before. I mean, everyone has different relationship statuses, and because they're licensed and trained and have all of those things, there's preachers who are single, pastors who are single, who are giving counseling to their flock. They're, the couples in their flock, because there is a pastoral counseling class that you will take if you go to seminary to help counsel your membership. So, and it's not like you're giving it from your life. The thing is, people have to remember that because you are a therapist does not mean you're giving people advice based on your life experiences. That's not what you're not supposed to do.
Right.
You do it based on your training. Okay, on your listening techniques, watching them engage with one another, listening to what people are saying, helping them delve deeper into what they're saying to you and to one another. These are techniques. You're not putting yourself in it. So whatever, you're divorced, married 4-5 times, single, ain't never had nobody, whatever. It doesn't matter because you're a licensed counselor, therapist, or whatever you are, and you're using your training to help that person during those persons or whatever during that time. So we have to realize that we can't take all those type of presuppositions to the plate when we're making these choices. You need to look at how people are trained, and like Andrew was saying earlier, does this person fit me? And that's just does this person make me feel comfortable to share? That's where it doesn't matter all this other stuff. Don't look at they went to the school, I don't like that school. Does this person make me feel comfortable to share? Do I feel like I can be authentic? Do I feel like I can be honest with this person? Do I feel like this can be a safe space with this person? Those are more important questions. What you say? What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said if you can be transparent.
Yes, all of those things are a lot more important. There's no use of wasting your money and sitting in front of somebody that you can't tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you guys.
Right, exactly.
People do that for free.
You might as well stay home and save your money. Actually,
hello, and just
that's
talk
the
to God.
If you can't be the real you when you go to see these professionals, you might as well stay home because therapy's not cheap.
It's like going to the doctor and you're not telling the doctor all your symptoms. How do you expect to go home with some good prognosis if you're not telling the doctor all the symptoms?
But the crazy thing
you bleeding, but you're not trying to tell him I'm bleeding. I just have a little pain right here.
My head hurt. But you ain't telling that you have a gash in the side of your chest. I mean, you just, my head hurt, doctor.
whole issue of blood, and you ain't trying to tell nobody. What's the problem?
Tiffany, what were you saying? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the crazy thing is though, if you think about kind of the Black community as a collective, right? We're told to not tell your business. Like that's kind of the old mantra was told, don't tell your business. Everybody doesn't need to be in your business. Don't tell certain things outside of home. Don't tell, and so if you think about just the Black society's collective, those are things that are kind of deeply rooted. So, I mean, to have people and older people who will go to the doctor and do just that, they'll be like, oh, I'm all right today. Or the doctor can give them something, give them medicine for it, but they don't ask any additional questions. Something else happens and they're like, oh, I'm taking medicine for it. I can still do everything else I want to do because the doctor gave me a pill for it. But you're not thinking about all the other things that go along with that. Also, too, when it comes to therapy, a lot of people go to therapy and they're like, well, I don't want this person to think I'm crazy, but, I need to talk to somebody. So, hey, this is what happened. And they don't. So I just feel like some of that behavior is rooted in the Black culture, not necessarily, like people don't want to do it. It's just the way it was.
You know what, Tiffany, you are absolutely right, because even aside from telling things outside of the household, people weren't talking in the family,
Exactly.
Let alone outside. I'll tell you all the story. This is years ago. My father, my parents, were in ministry, and my father got up in the pulpit one Sunday, excuse me, and went to preaching about how my mother was on her 5-year cancer remission. And he's telling about how God had healed her and this and that thing. And me and my sister were like, what are they talking about? Didn't know she had cancer. Didn't know she was sick. Because they were so determined that they didn't want to say anything. And it wasn't until they got in the service. And me and my sister, we're sitting at different ends of the choir stand, and she looks at me and I look at him, and he's all deep in it. Yeah, God healed her, and the devil showed me she was going to die and how my children were. We were like, what in the world? We knew she was sick, but we didn't know it was to the extent. And here my mother over in the corner shouting herself out because she's in 5-year remission. And me and my sister were hot. And from that point on, we had to have a real family discussion. It's like, you can't do that. And I understood the premise. They were trying not to have my sister and I worried. But it was shocking to be in the middle of service to hear that.
Wow. I don't know how I would have took that. I don't know how. I would have been happy that Mama made it, but at the same token, we'll be heading to the ER. I don't know what happened though. Wow. Well, anyway, I'm
serious though. My sister and I, we went in.
I believe so.
After it was over, on that car ride on the way home, because my sister was in high school, I was a freshman in college. That car ride on the way home was no joke, because we were like,
y'all were young. Okay, y'all were young. I mean, it's messed up.
Still. I was a freshman in college. My sister was getting ready to graduate high school, but we still knew nothing.
Yeah.
I remember my father calling me, Andrea, come home, cook some meals because your mom is sick.
Yeah.
But we went in. We went in.
He should have had a meeting before he had that sermon on Sunday.
Yeah, that's not cool.
And we talked about that thing.
That's true. That is traumatic.
That's crazy. Because I was gonna say too, the other thing
it was shocking to our sister. We were like, "Are you kidding?" And then from that point on, after that point, then they told us every little bitty little thing, So then we knew everything. But that one time was enough to be like, "Are you?" And then but then here's the thing about it though. When you live in a society like Tiffany said, where things are kept quiet, you don't always think not to do it. So then years later, when I had my son, there were certain things that in my mind, not necessarily as traumatic as, my mother being sick, but there were things that I kept from my son that looking back on it after he and I had some discussions, he was like, you know what, Mom, I would have understood better had you just said it. As opposed to me thinking, he's in school, I don't want to add that extra, burden to him. And I had to like look back. I was like, oh, you know what? That's just repeating behavior that I grew up with.
Because the other thing is too, a lot of times in the Black community and Black church specifically, you're told, oh, just go to God about it. Just pray about it. And it's like, God also put people in your life and in your path to answer some of those prayers. But if you're drilled with, oh, just pray about it. Don't worry about it. Just pray about it. Like, understand that the answer to your prayer may not magically write itself across the sky. It may not magically just drop in your heart or your spirit. And so I think that's also a detriment with a lot of people, even in relationships sometimes. I think a lot of people, are like, oh, I'm just going to pray about it. It's going to work out. Like, I'm going to pray for it to work out because it's got to work out. Where all the turmoil that you're going through very well may be the answer to your prayer to leave. So, I think we just have to kind of I think church has to be rechurched, if that makes any sense.
But that's not even biblical. I mean, because Saul had Samuel, David had Nathan. That's not even biblical. They had people that walked beside them as they served in their leadership roles that were ministering to them. Ahab, even though he wasn't listening to Elijah, he had Elijah. I mean, they had people. That
was pretty much the whole role of the prophet.
I mean, yeah, exactly. That was the role of the prophets to walk beside leadership and give them the spiritual guidance that they need. That is the role of these people that are now mental health professionals or even your pastoral leadership. They can give you your needed guidance. So that's not even biblical.
Okay.
Let's squash that church tradition.
Yes, ma'am. I hear you. Yes, ma'am. Well, and to those who are watching, please like, subscribe, and share. Okay. Please like, subscribe, and share. La 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 la. We're gonna have to skip one of these topics tonight.
Mike, can we pull up the comment from Chauncey real quick? I think it was really good. Basically it was talking about that we don't, like the community is for purpose. Like you don't have to go through things alone. So I just thought that was a good comment.
Yes. And faith without action, but we know how that God has created medicines, doctors, people in communities to be hands here on earth. Church, stop being absolutely right, Nick.
Amen. Let us not forsake the fellowship of believers. Hebrews 10.
Somebody pull out a collection plate in the organ. Let's go wrap this up.
Okay.
We heard the Lord, you heard my cry.
We all right, y'all.
Hey.
I eat my popcorn.
Pull it back,
Please like, subscribe, and
share. You just say that.
Okay. We're gonna move on to the next topic. Okay. The next one is breaking and entering. Breaking and entering.
Is it a relationship topic?
No, it's not. It does something that might make you chuckle, might make you mad, or both.
We'll get you sprayed with Lysol. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's this lady. I think she's in Maryland, and I think she went on vacation. And she come back home, and she has some guests in her house. Okay,
Some guests. Okay, that's more than one.
So it's about. Give us a little. It's under 3 minutes. Take a look.
Told me when this was going down, the male suspect got physical with her to stop her from leaving or calling the police. She says this was such a scary experience that she's been having nightmares. Coming back from vacation to strangers on her bed.
Not only were they in my home, everything in my home was gone except for my bed because he details how he loved my bed so much. And I'm like, who are you? And he says my name. He like, you didn't pay your rent. I'm like, what are you talking about? I paid my rent.
We're concealing the identity of the woman who stays in this apartment for her safety, but she tells us at first she tried to leave, but the man you see in the video stopped her.
He tackles me, and I'm like, sir, this is my home. You're not going to let me leave? He's like, no, I'm just saying you're not going to call the police. I'm just saying you're not going to call the police. I'm going to give you an apartment. You're just not going to call the police.
She says he eventually calms down, so she starts recording him as he's packing his things and explaining how he got in.
Please show me how you got inside.
I'm gonna show you.
Because
So,
now I don't feel
I'm gonna show
safe.
you. I'm gonna show you step by step. Cause it's 3 ways you can get in your apartment. You got everything, man?
Yes, please get all of your things. I want you to leave nothing behind.
Nah, we wouldn't. I'm gonna tell you how nobody can ever come in without a key.
I can't believe.
Yeah, it's a learning experience. There's 3 ways you get in here. This window here, you need to put a lock on it.
It's been almost a month since this happened, and she tells me she still doesn't know where her belongings are, close to $50,000 worth. She says she's still in disbelief.
Like, I just couldn't believe this was happening to me. I see this on TV. They really just took over my apartment, and I was just trying to remain calm because but at the same time, I just couldn't believe this was happening to me. I come home and literally 2 people are in my bed, like, relaxing.
Now, she says before he left, he told her he planned on doing this again at another apartment. Tonight, Greenbelt police say this is something they are aware of, and currently they have officers actively patrolling in that area. And we can confirm we did.
Breaking and entering.
This
They
is
decided to just squat.
I can't say what I would do.
Basically, Andrea, that's it. They squatted.
They were
They
squatters.
squatted right there.
That's it. He just told them he was a professional thief. This is how I did it. And he just pulled a whole OJ. If I would have done it, and he got away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
Just bold with
had to work.
And he said,
showed her own video.
She was so calm.
And he was, well, I mean, he gonna sit up there. This is a learning experience. Okay.
But wait a minute. This is the reason why I think it's more to the story. Because she said he called me by name.
Her name is on stuff in the house.
True, but still, I feel like it's something else to the story. I just feel like it's
my name is on the mail. My name on everything. Like I said, something right here with my name on. So he probably knew he could label, or he probably had been watching her. But my thing is, why ain't nobody got shot?
Well, like
come on, bang bang is all I'm going to say. That's Patrick
Madison. Somebody is about to get shot, and you in my house. So I ain't going to jail because you in my house. In my house,
laying in my bed, eating up my food. Oh my Lord! Using my toilet paper.
My daddy raised me.
Toilet paper, my good towels.
Some kind of way, but it wouldn't happen to me because I got some next door neighbors that I've been living next door for the last up 10 years, and so there's no way in the world, Mr. Man next door. I ain't gonna say his name because y'all don't know him. Gonna let anyone come in his driveway and spawn and get out and attempt to come in without calling the police department.
Okay.
So, is that tonight?
But wait, let me read this. I'm confused. Did they rob her or were they staying there while she was gone? It was both.
Both. I just feel like it's a hole in this story because she was way too calm. It's a hole in the story.
But see, when you're scared, because he could have had something. He could really. I mean,
but even if I went in and somebody, but if I went in and somebody's there, first of all, that you're there, I'm going out. Like I'm not gonna stay in here with you and have a conversation. So that's why I'm like, it's something else to the story. I'm not saying that it's a hoax or anything, but it's something else to this story.
Look at Nicholas Wright. Hey, I'm with you, baby. I'm with you. I'm with Judge.
I'd rather be seen on TV than viewed in the church. Come on, somebody.
Hello. I'm telling y'all, that's how we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, I think she walked in on something, and he's like, "Hey, no, are you?"
Maybe he was on something.
Oh yeah, you
And he
think?
could have been high. He could
Yeah.
have been high. They could have been back
You
there
know,
smoke. We don't know what was going on.
some sort of
Whatever it
pharmaceutical
was,
product.
it probably saved her life. Because if he was violent or whatever else, the video
Exactly.
wouldn't have been made. We would have known anything. But
And I'm with Patrick. It's not going to be a friendly conversation. Like, oh, can you show me how you did this?
I
Oh,
know,
what?
it's
Why are you here? Let's talk
Yeah.
about it.
I'm
No,
telling you. Boom, boom, boom. Just go and
You
arrest
shut this
me.
down. Could have shut that all the way down.
Wow. I
Can't
mean,
even imagine.
I,
Can you
would
imagine
look-
though, like seriously though, you come home from work or you come home from someplace and somebody's laid up in your bed? I just can't.
So,
I
funny
just
story.
can't.
They're gonna be shot. They're
So
gonna be
funny,
shot.
but funny story. So, in undergrad, there
Mhm.
was we had the apartments. I lived in an apartment, and well, it was a dorm that was an apartment. But anyway, long story short, the people next to us, the maintenance guy, they came back from class. The maintenance guy was chilling on their couch, eating his lunch, having the time of his life, watching
I've heard
TV
that
on their
happen
TV.
before.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they come
And
in.
I
They
was
come in.
like,
They'll come in. These people in college come in anytime. They come in. Oh,
yeah.
we came in and sprayed. And you're like,
They
okay.
came in and chilled.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
He attacked her, and then when he calmed down, he let her go, so she stayed calm. You know,
What? Where Rhonda
But
get that
that's
from?
what I'm saying. There was and
got-
like I said, I'm not victim
Mhm.
blaming at all. Not victim
Mhm.
blaming at all. I
Mhm.
just feel like there's a piece of this story
It's
that is missing.
something.
When did this
There's
happen, Mike?
something's
How
amiss.
old is this story? Old or is it recent?
No, this recent.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Like I'm doing on my Facebook page, I'm investigating this whole little
Yes.
lady who went out with this correctional officer, the man.
Oh wow.
We're gonna just start doing some research and wait till they get arrested because it's
Wow.
obvious. The Greenbelt police said they have heard about this already happening.
Yes.
So there's been other
And then-
occurrences.
And then they said we're gonna do it again. Like the people on
Yeah.
video. Like what that's why I'm saying it's like something is not right. Something's not right with this.
You can't make my grandma used to say, you can't make sense out of stupidity. It's stupid. They are stupid. It's just a stupid situation. Girl, it's nothing logical about it. It's just crazy.
Her reaction was, granted, her reaction was a bit calm. If you think about, like, I've had a situation where I've walked into my house with a woman that shouldn't have been there. And I remember going clear off, and I knew her, let alone, someone that I don't know. Clear off, clear. Girl.
That's enough.
All the Holy Ghost
right?
put aside. All of it. Every last bit of it. I pick it up later.
Sometimes,
but at that moment,
sometimes you can get so scared that it just.
Now, granted, it was an open situation in general, but
yeah, sometimes you can get so scared and a calmness can fall over you because you have no other way of dealing with it without like losing your mind. So sometimes that is your own way of being your defense mechanism. It's the only way you can a calmness falls over you so you can deal with it. And then you can freak out later.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I
can appreciate that
because
your response mechanism or your protectiveness.
Yeah, sometimes the calmness protects you more because if she had gone straight, we don't know what that man had on him. And obviously something was going on. He's like, let me tell you how I got in here. I got in here 3 ways. It's like this dude got a little manual. He had a.
But the thing for me, but like I said, the part for me that's a little weird is that if you got attacked by this person, why are we still videoing and having a conversation with this person? Why are there no police there? Why are you still engaging?
I missed the attack.
Yeah.
She said she was attacked.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, and once things calmed down, she started videoing again. And then and that's why I'm like, okay. I'm like I said, I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm not saying that it didn't happen because strange things have happened. Yes, but it's just it's some pieces that seem a little maybe the story wasn't told to the news the right way. Maybe they got it wrong. I don't know. Something don't add.
And maybe she was in on it. Maybe she's like, you know what? I need some money. I got renter's insurance. Let's get rid of all this stuff. Act like I got robbed, and then I can get my money and buy some new stuff, and we got the money when we sold everything else. Look, hey, now you talking about hustling? Hustling.
That's another hustle, ain't it?
Hey,
Okay.
no telling. People lost a lot during COVID. No telling what folks will do.
Yeah,
honestly.
and they probably
might get
already
you 5
heard.
to 10.
And they probably already heard it was already happening in the community. So let me find a way to get over and get paid and get some new stuff. Cause you said
like I said,
50,000 in an apartment.
Wow.
Look, that hustle may get you 5 to 10, but it's gonna get you 3 hots in the car. So you gonna have a place to sleep.
Exactly.
If they find
you may be Big Bertha's toy, you may be Big Luther's toy. We don't know, but somewhere along the way,
her stuff may be in storage. She may put all her
stuff. The ride in the police
car. That's
what
I'm saying.
It's too long
so
to be in custody.
It's so many things. But you know what? Like
the fact that I'm being engaged and detained is enough.
The neighbors ain't seen nothing. But
that's my point. I'm like, it's something not right about this story.
Because I've lived in an apartment complex. People will move. People used to move at night, because they worked all day. We're gonna move. Y'all come through by 10 o'clock. We're gonna move.
Moving product or they moving?
No, I'm talking about people will move out of their apartments at night.
Wait, y'all. Patrick Mattis.
People didn't see it, huh? I'm sorry.
Patrick Mattis. That was Rent-A-Center stuff.
I know, because when he
they
said
came and repoed their stuff.
$50,000, no, $50,000 in an apartment of furniture, $50,000. I mean, maybe all her clothes, furniture. Maybe she had a few pieces of jewelry.
Hold up. They took all your stuff, but they left your bed. They had
to sleep in something.
I'm like, come on, y'all.
This gotta be comfortable.
Look, I can see both sides of it because I ain't seen crazy on both sides. I can see it happening the first way, and I can see it happening where they want, hey, there's a hustle. They already doing it. Let's get paid. I got this renter's insurance. They gonna give me the money for all this stuff.
I mean, to me, I'm like, that's like somebody stealing your wallet and leaving your credit cards or your cash on the sidewalk. Like, they're like, oh, she got a nice Coach wallet.
No, that's like somebody stealing. You're calling the police. You're calling the police. They stole. No, this is what you do. You've gone to the mall. You have charged up everything you want to get. And then in the midst of it happening, you call the police. I can't find my wallet. And you sitting there with all the bags, the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton,
thank you,
everything. And I stole my wallet. I'm calling all of them so they can wipe out all these charges off my credit cards, and I can get a new credit card, and I can still go home with my $5,000 Louis Vuitton.
Because look, I used to work at the phone company, or as my one of my great aunts said, she said telephone company. So I used to work at the telephone company. And this was back when you got charged for text messaging and charged for games and all that stuff. And I will never forget this dude charged up so much for the sake of this live adult entertainment on his phone. I'm talking about like over $1,000 worth of adult entertainment. Came in and was like, oh my gosh, somebody stole my phone. So, of course, we're going to investigate a little bit. And we're like, so these numbers that you called are all numbers that you've called before. So I don't understand it because we matched up the time frames. And going to find out he was doing it. He was married, but he was enjoying his side entertainment and thought that it was going to magically go away. No, sir. Would be cheaper to go to the strip club.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Well, if you're going to hustle, you got to be smart.
Like, don't be traceable. Like, that's like going to slash somebody's tires. Don't do that. Just let the air out of it. I'm sorry, I didn't give that free advice. Go ahead. Next.
I know.
We don't talk
it's
about
like
that.
If you're gonna be a criminal, be good at it.
We'll talk about that in the after party.
If you're choosing to be a criminal as your career, be good at what you do. Be skilled.
When he was a frequently.
Don't be random.
Y'all,
be good at it.
We promise we're okay. So y'all have to come to the after party. We'll have this conversation extended.
We're gonna talk about this in the after party. Yeah, okay. One quick one. It's very quick. you know, when it's our birthday, you know, we love having our birthday. And one of the highlights is people singing happy birthday to us. Well, I found something. I found something.
Lord.
Yes. I'm going to put the topic up here right now. Happy birthday hymn.
What is the church? This ain't in the African American Baptist hymnal.
This is when they sung at that restaurant that time.
This is on a later CD, right? I heard
birthday to you.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
Happy birthday.
Birthday to you. Yes.
He ain't even put a to you in there. He just said, happy birthday. Yes, sir.
Felt it in my
How
shandala.
old are you now?
Bless the Lord.
Well.
And you know it was a Baptist church. You can tell he was definitely
Of course.
Oh Lord.
I'm sorry, it's extra.
Wait. Not him, number 2.
Nicholas, you a goofy, sir.
I love it.
Nicholas, you're gonna have to join us up here, please.
Oh goodness.
I mean, wait. Kitty says he's dragging it too. Yes. I mean,
he gave us a common meter.
My granddaddy used to do that in the church. You know, I know
common meter.
Kids to sit up front and do that devotional.
Yes.
Y'all got me shed a tip. Think about my granddaddy.
Ostrich. Yes, sir.
I mean, he had the suspenders on and everything.
Yes.
Okay.
So look, as extra as I am for my birthday, and y'all know I am super extra in December. Somebody do that for me. Thank you.
Okay.
It can come from anybody. Somebody do that for me.
We got to
appreciate it. December. Y'all got another year, another half and some months of a year to figure it out. Let's do this.
All right, Mike, we're gonna have choir rehearsals.
Okay, we're gonna have choir rehearsals.
I'm with Nicholas. That was a meter hymn. That was common meter. That was common meter.
Chauncey say that hymn is right before Blessed Assurance.
Yes, that's the song.
Yes.
That's it. That's the song.
Jesus is mine. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, what a fun. Sorry.
Yes. I'm about to find my Martin Luther King fan. This ain't. I feel like a little bit further.
No, Leslie, you got to get the one with the funeral home on front of it.
Exactly.
There's one in this house. The one
with that black family on there.
Yes.
Exactly.
I'm gonna put my family.
Or the one with the little girl and she got her gloves on and she got her praying hands.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yep.
We got to end this quick, y'all. I can't even do this. It's time is out. Please look at this.
Tiffany started something. This is my story.
This is my song.
This is my song.
Praising my Savior.
Yes.
All the day long.
Yes.
Come on, Andrew.
Yes. This is my story.
Yes, sir.
Tell me this is my song. There you go.
Y'all gonna make me pull out something that sound like a tambourine over here because I ain't got no tambourine. I got something over here though. I can find something.
You got a washboard? Somebody got a washboard on here.
You have been listening to SBC your gospel source. Thank you. It's now prayer time, children. No. Folks, I'm trying to leave.
Lord, I stretch my hands to thee.
Over here, down there, and over, wherever Tiff at. Okay. Okay, folks. I gotta get to this announcement. Oh, I can't even get to the announcement, y'all. Y'all just mess me up. Okay.
Join us in the after party.
Yes. Please, we beg you, please join us in the after party. We're gonna finish this conversation. We're gonna have a good time talking about all this, and we're gonna see what else shenanigans we're gonna go into. Okay, then coming Saturday, you know I can't even do this. Come Saturday night, we're gonna have our Saturday night social, and this week it's gonna be trivia night. So please join us for trivia night, okay? And then come next Tuesday, guess what? We will have Shoot Your Shot. Yes, come here. If you want to shoot your shot, please.
Or you want to get shot up. Yes, come on.
You know what?
Ha! There you go. Bless your God.
Bam!
Yes.
Free throws, boo. Free throws.
We're going to have Shoot Your Shot. We'll have more announcements in the upcoming days.
Okay.
Thank you
so much. If you want to be shot up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us for the Gospel Cavalcade on WSBC. For Leslie Smith, Tiffany Murphy, and Andrea Jenkins, this is Deacon Michael A. Walker signing off. We'll see you next time if it's the Lord's will. Until then,
may the Lord watch between me and thee while you're at it.
So long, everybody.
Your eyes on the prize.